Hello, awesome students. My name is Henna. Today we're going to be learning about using trigonometric identities. First, I will start by showing you the different types of identities. There are three types of identities. The first one is the reciprocal identity, then the quotient identity, and lastly the Pythagorean identity. So first we're going to start off with our reciprocal identities. We have sine theta equals 1 over cosecant theta. Cosecant theta equals 1 over sine theta. Cosine theta equals 1 over secant theta. Secant theta equals 1 over cosine theta. Tangent equals 1 over cotangent, and cotangent equals 1 over tangent. Now we'll move on to quotient identities. The first one is going to be tangent theta equals sine theta divided by cosine theta. The second one will be cotangent theta equals cosine theta divided by sine theta. And remember, there's only two for this one. So now that we've learned all the identities, I think it's time for some examples on how to use the identity. So example 1 is going to be 1 minus cosine squared theta times sine squared theta. And what we're going to do is use the Pythagorean identity, 1 minus cosine squared theta equals sine squared theta. We're going to substitute it and end up with sine squared theta times sine squared theta. We'll simplify that and we end up with sine to the 4th theta. So our second example is going to be 1 minus cosine squared theta divided by cosine squared theta. And we're going to start by using the Pythagorean identity, 1 minus cosine squared theta equals sine squared theta. We're going to substitute the top numerator, and we're going to end up with sine squared theta over cosine squared theta. So we're going to start off where we left off, sine squared theta divided by cosine squared theta. And what we're going to do now is we're going to simplify it using our quotient identities. So sine over cosine equals tangent. So after we simplify it, our final answer will be tangent squared theta. So moving on to our third example, we have 1 divided by secant theta squared plus sine squared theta plus 1. We're going to simplify using our reciprocal identity. So 1 divided by secant theta we know is equal to cosine theta. So we're going to substitute that and end up with cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta plus 1. Okay, so now that we have cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta plus 1, we're going to use our Pythagorean identities. As we know, cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. So we are going to substitute that 1 into our first equation. So now we get 1 plus 1, and our final answer is 2. Okay, so this is the end of today's lesson on using trigonometric identities.
Created using Powtoon.